Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. I have a couple of gentlemen here who were very generous of their time. They want to give us some insight on what's going on in the construction and trades in Casper. So, gentlemen, could you do me a favor and introduce yourselves?
Go ahead, Travis.
Yeah, my name is Travus Clair. I'm a project manager in business development for Modern Electric Company out of Casper, Wyoming.
My name is Cody Cline. I'm the vice president of GW Mechanical, a major plumbing and mechanical contractor based out of Casper, Wyoming.
Awesome. And just to get things going here, can you tell me a little bit about the state of the trades in Casper and the demand for these types of jobs in our area?
I think that the trades in Casper and in the greater state of Wyoming are in dire need of additional young people coming into the trades. We have a lot of people retiring across the board. We're losing a lot of knowledge. The technology and the information speed is ramping up, and the qualification for people to come into the trades is in dire need. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, just to echo Travis's comments, we need a youth injection in the trades as a whole. I don't know what the stigma is, but we need to help kids get over the stigma that these are not well-paying, highly skilled jobs.
And I think the second component to that is it's not our dad's blue collar jobs anymore. There's so much technology in place and information swapping and talking to engineers and the coordination factor and the people management that it's not just that you can swing a hammer and read a tape measure. It's how do you connect with people and how do we build Wyoming from the ground up? Because if we can't build these buildings and have a qualified workforce across the company, Wyoming's never going to diversify. We're always going to be coal and oil and gas. And in order to change that mindset, we have to get these young people interested in the opportunity in the trades.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Now, do you think that this is where apprenticeship would come into the picture possibly? Do you think that building that kind of apprenticeship culture in our small businesses or just here in our area, do you think that could be a good way to start?
As someone that's new to a formal apprenticeship program, Travis and electricians have had it for quite a while now, but I'm only 3 months in with our registered apprentices, and I can already see a difference in what they're learning. It's making it to where everybody's on a more even playing field. Everybody's learning the same curriculum. Before that, it was the Wild West when it came to learning. Somebody's learning this, somebody's learning that. There's still a lot of different ways to skin a cat, but to have a combined curriculum that is universal is only going to make better plumbers. I'm sure Travis would echo that in the electrical. I mean, it's nice to have a set curriculum that all his people are learning.
Yeah, and I see, we've been fortunate enough to have a curriculum for and I don't know off the top of my head how many years we've had it. But the plumbing apprenticeship program is going to go down this path that we're struggling with, which is getting more people interested in it, right? It's great to have a curriculum and yes, the standardization of training and broad approach to this is how we do things as an industry practice across the board in a classroom setting is wonderful, but we still have to get people engaged in wanting to be in those trades. So yes, we're very fortunate to have the JATC program, which is a company funded program. We pay the kids to go to school. We pay them to go through the school. That's pension, that's benefit, that's welfare across the board. And so it's a great opportunity, and Cody's getting a taste of that with a formal education program, and we all have to work together as construction trades to get more people interested.
Yeah, and so this is just a question for my clarification. What do you think is the current culture of mentorship in your respective industries? Is this something that you think could be worked on, at least in our area, or is this something that is more of a non-issue at this time? It's just a matter of getting folks in. Because
the mentorship needs to be worked on, because even myself, I mean, I'm in my mid 30s, and I'm not a great teacher. I'll fully admit that. I'm somebody that's like, okay, you obviously don't know how to do this. Give it to me and I'm going to do it for you, which is not the right approach with the new generation. We have to be able to spend the time. I think we've got some really good teachers in our apprenticeship that are really good at that. But there are still a lot of people in our industry that aren't. That's another reason why our apprenticeship program is so important, because you're actually putting the people with people that want to teach. Because I'm sorry, there's a lot of the older generation, like Travus said, that's getting ready to retire. They don't see the benefit in investing their knowledge into another generation. I see the benefit. I just struggle at doing it myself. And it's something I work on, but I know I'm not alone. So formal apprenticeship programs will only help be able to pass that knowledge down better.
Do you think that in terms of learning how to be a mentor, has it gotten better since the apprenticeship began, or something that you'd recommend to other business owners to do?
Absolutely, because not only do we have our apprenticeship program, we had to do something unique where a bunch of our employees had to become performance evaluators and proctors for the NCCER, because we're spread out so far across the state, to adapt to the challenge that Wyoming has, that we have for a company our size. We have to be spread across the state. So to overcome that, those people took on that challenge. And so I have several superintendents that have taken up more of a role of mentoring and being a part of this apprenticeship program, where in years past, I think I would have gotten a lot more pushback, negative pushback. And so far, all these guys have really embraced it. They all start to see the benefit. And a lot of them are that older generation. And so far it's been a pretty positive thing across the board, as far as them taking on that role.
Yeah, and I would agree with that. And I think we, as in general, from a construction standpoint, we're all doers, right? And as a doer, you're watching productivity, and you're watching, I can do that faster than him, or there's a challenge there, and you have to completely tweak your methodology to transfer that knowledge. It's going to be slower when you're training somebody, but it's better for the company. It's better for the industry if you can divulge that information, that knowledge, to somebody new. And I think in the past there was probably a stigma with some of the older guys that maybe that was their security blanket because they were good, right? So now I think the newer culture is all about sharing, and things are happening so fast on these job sites and in these contractual construction that we all have to rely on each other, and we have to work together to figure this out. I know Modern, over the last year, we have promoted a senior foreman. He was with Modern for 13 years to a superintendent position. His sole responsibility is for training foremen. He's not running jobs anymore. He's checking in on jobs, and he's seeing how the journeymen are training apprentices and how apprentices are training other apprentices. And we've put an overhead position in place just to focus on training. And we have an apprenticeship program. So that's how dire it is. We know at the company level that we have to put an investment forward to really train people how to train, right?
Right. So kind of following that train of thought about what the next generation is hoping to do, or the way they see things, for somebody who's just starting to look at their career options, what would you say to them, or what's something that would make them consider the trades?
I think the opportunity for somebody to get into the trades right now is wonderful. The wages that are currently out there are phenomenal. I mean, starting wages across the trades are wonderful. I know from an electrical standpoint, I mean, we're starting first-year apprentice with no experience at $16 an hour, and every 6 months they're getting a pay bump. Plus, we're starting health and welfare benefits at day one. They have 142 hours on the books, they get benefits. Pensions kick in on the third year. So by the time 4 years into the program, they have not paid $1 for school. We pay for their tools, everything but hand tools. We pay for the school program. We pay the teachers. We pay the facility. We provide the materials for the school. 4 years into it, they're making upwards of 50 to 60,000 on their comp with full benefits for them and their families. So, $30 an hour on their paycheck and $12.50 an hour on their benefits package. So, the debt I think the struggle is that the amount of money you spend to go to college, if you're not really good at college or really good at school, the debt to income ratio is just not there. You're going to spend $40,000 or $50,000 on college, and you're going to make $40,000 or $50,000 a year. Well, you have zero debt when you come out of an apprenticeship program that's offered. You're making money the whole time, and you have no debt in 4 years, and you're making double that.
Yeah, that's amazing. Cody, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's very similar to Travus. I mean, we have very similar benefits. I mean, a first year person is probably going to start around $15-$16 an hour. The only thing I would add to what Travus said is you're in high demand. There's nothing. I can't say there's nothing, but there's very few jobs that have as much job security as going into the trades right now. You're going to be in demand. You're going to be needed. You can't ever be replaced, outsourced. I mean, everybody's going to need plumbers. Everybody's going to need electricians. Everybody's going to need carpenters, HVAC technicians. Those people are always going to exist. And until we get the problem fixed nationwide, that we're struggling to find people. I mean, it's going to be a very high demand job, and you're not. I mean, it's a good thing and not a good thing when you don't have a lot of competition. But
right.
I mean, to me, that's a huge benefit to any kid coming out, knowing that you're not going to be shopped. You can't be. I mean, people are going to pay for your services as long as you are competent, show up to work every day, work hard, learn it. But the benefits are you don't start out in debt. I mean, that's a huge benefit too. You get paid to learn. Right.
So do you guys think that this kind of approach or this kind of thinking applies to somebody who's switching careers too? Like, say, somebody who may not be just out of high school or, maybe 10 years out of that environment. Do you think that there is still time for those folks to join this workforce?
Absolutely. I think, I mean, and I don't know if Travus sees it as much as I do, but the struggle is a lot of people spend their time in the oil field, and what they can overcome is the wage difference. Coming to the trades. I mean, we still make a good wage, but it's not oil field wage.
Right.
But what we can offer is a lot more stable job that doesn't. Yeah, we still have the ups and downs with the economy, but we don't nearly have the lows that oil and gas does.
Yeah, and I would second that. I think switching careers isn't always for everybody, right? I mean, if you're making those oil field wages and you weren't financially intelligent with your money that you were making, it's very hard to switch. And this goes back to the debt to income ratio that we have across the country, let alone, somebody that's switching. If they're smart with their money, yeah, of course, switch, go do something because of this stability. The oil and gas industry is so cyclic that those people eventually will come without a job, and they may have to switch careers. But it's a challenge to switch for sure.
And the other big difference between us and them is a lot of people that want to switch. Not only is it the money, but they're tired of working the 60, 70, 80-hour weeks, and they want to come to an industry that do we have to do that sometimes, but it's not common. At least for us, it's not. There's times where you got to buckle down, and there's going to be some overtime, and there's going to be some long weeks, as there is in a lot of industries. But I know oil field, it seems like those guys they get worked to the bone, and then they get tired of it, which I would too. I wouldn't want to put in that many hour weeks, especially in a physically demanding job.
Right. Let alone that's cyclic, that you eventually could potentially lose your job if oil drops next
Exactly.
week.
You put that much time and effort in just to have no job security.
Right. So it's probably a better gamble to say I'm going into the trades, because it's more of a long-term path where it's almost like a slow and steady wins the race, even though there's like tremendous benefits from the onset in what you guys are doing, but there's even more of a benefit because you won't be breaking down as much, essentially, because you won't be getting overworked as much compared to, the energy industry then.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So just a quick thing here. Do you guys think that there's a way to change this bad reputation, or maybe old-fashioned reputation that the trades have, like it being something that, that people won't choose over college? What do you think is the issue there?
I think it's more touch points with kids, and when I say kids, I mean junior high school, entry level college, or the younger people that and we've got to get them in front of people that are passionate about the trades. I think the trades in general are pretty bad at tooting their own horn, right? Mm-hmm. We're very proud, and Cody and I and a couple other people within the industry, we're really trying to push that perception, but the only way we can do that is getting involved. And we have to get involved at a minute level, and that's the school boards. It's at the high school counselors. It's at all of those things that help shape these people when they're trying to develop their own sense.
Oh, I think we lost you. Oh. Cody, any thoughts on that?
So what they want to do.
Oh, there we go.
Lost you for a second there, Travis.
Oh, I don't know where.
Yeah, I mean, same thing, and parents as well. I mean, we need to be able to get to the parents, but I mean, just talking about it, I think helps. We do not do a good enough job tooting our own horn, as Travis said. But I would also like to see the district change their approach and start approaching us more often about coming in and having a chance to talk to kids and even parents.
Agreed.
Right. So just sort of in that spirit, I meant to ask this because I've been asking everyone all week in all the videos that we've been doing, because I think it's important to share a little bit of like the personal aspect of this in terms of what it's done for you guys and your quality of life, because you guys better than anyone know what the day in and day out is, in terms of work-life balance and all that sort of things. How would you rate that in terms of where you're at with work-life balance and just overall quality of life?
I think for myself, my work-life balance has gotten better. I've been in the energy industry, and I've been in, a sales type industry, commercial products, and both private and public companies. And I've been outside the state, and what it's done for me is allow me to be home more and have a quality of life from a financial standpoint. But the security is the best part about it. I'm always going to be needed, and the industry is always going to be needed. And now the exciting part is Wyoming is behind the times in how construction is done, which means the newer generation that's coming up, which is Cody and myself and some of the others, is we can shape how this is going to go. It's not done yet in Wyoming, and I think that's the exciting part, which gets me excited about it every day. But the security is just, it's there for the taking. We just have to go get it.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I'm sure Travis is the same way. But just knowing that our respective companies won't get rid of us just for different reasons, but knowing that we could go somewhere very easily and go find another job if for some reason we had to. I mean, you can't get better job security than that.
Right.
I mean, once you dedicate yourself to this, you're dedicated, and B, the people that are in this industry are going to take care of you.
Right.
That's just how it is. It's not just GW Mechanical. It's not just Modern Electric. That's how a lot of trades companies are. Is that there's a lot of loyalty. There's been a lot of people that have worked for us for 30 years, 20 years, and that's a lot of dedication, and we've given those people their their financial security and their home life. I mean, I have it. Yeah, we put in a lot of hours, but to have the financial security that I have and be able to go home most nights and see my kids and see my wife. I mean, and most of the people in our industry have that. I mean, there is some travel involved a lot during the weeks, but once again, you're home on the weekends. I mean, even going back to my childhood, that's how most of my childhood was with my dad. He was gone during the week, but he was home every weekend, and that's a lot better than a lot of people can say.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I appreciate that, guys, because I do think that the personal aspect of this whole thing is one of the great things that these industries have to offer, these trades. But is there anything else that you'd like to add that might be interesting to some folks who are looking into the trades, or anything that they should look at online to get the ball rolling on that exploration?
I think the first thing, that I would recommend somebody doing is obviously get with the college and any apprenticeship programs and go take a tour of facilities. If you're in the high school level or the junior high level, talk to your counselors. Ask what options are out there for the trades. Go walk through. You call any of these contractors and say, hey, I'm really interested in the trades. I'm a sophomore in high school. Can I just come talk to you for 15 minutes? I mean, we'll drop what we're doing and talk to people. It's very important across the board, and myself included. My door's always open. Call the office and get a hold of me. I think, and then they've just got to ask and ask and ask at the counselor level for the resources that are available.
Awesome.
Yeah, there's nothing better than hands-on or physically being able to look to see what we do. I know some of the schools here have done a good job as far as when their new schools were being built. They've taken some of their students and kids through that school while it was still under construction. I think that's the stuff that's going to get kids jazzed. I wish there was a website that I knew of that they could go to and say, oh yeah, now plumbing is what I want to do. I'm not aware of that thing. What's going to grab them is physically being able to see it. Like, I actually wish, this is kind of silly, but I wish the kids would actually get tours of the entire school that they're going to. They get to go see the electrical room. They get to go see the mechanical room. They get to see what really makes that building work.
Agreed.
Right.
And I mean, whether it's just a peeking down in a crawl space or whatever, but I mean, that's what gets people excited.
Right.
I mean, I spent my entire life around plumbers, and I didn't get to experience it until I was in my 20s. And that was my own fault. But once I saw what we did, I mean, it really grabbed me.
No, that's wonderful, guys. But otherwise, I really appreciate your time. And I know that we'll be sharing these videos and interviews with folks online in case there's added resources there. We'll be adding more testimonials to the Career Exploration Week website. So that's also going to be a resource to folks. But yeah, Cody, Travus, thank you so much for your time. And you guys take care.
Thanks for setting this up, Jaime.
Thanks. Right, have a great weekend, guys.
Have a good weekend.
All right, you too.